Hi, everybody.
Hey, guys.
You didn't think I would do it.
Welcome.
Never triple dog dare me to do anything.
I should have known better. Welcome to, I was going to say the pre-show. That's funny.
The Olive and Popeye show.
What are we doing? We're on YouTube.
I got to work on my, Popeye.
Yeah, Karen's working on her impressions, but
just smash it, Popeye. All
it
right.
doesn't really sound like olive oil.
Oh, no. All right, olive oil. Oh, this is really just.
Yeah. This is like getting worse and worse.
So today, welcome, happy Monday, as people filter into the massively growing and ever-changing chat room space.
Yeah, welcome to the show.
Yeah, so we're a little loopy. We
Loopy.
I'm always loopy.
What's in that mug?
Coffee, my iced brew.
Right.
So we're gonna talk about a lot of things, but today is Monday. It's the start of the week. It's the middle of the month, and I had the bright idea to call it Monday Motivation and to sort of kick it off like giving a support to everybody. And one of us is not particularly motivated to do much of anything today, video or otherwise, right? I'm looking at you like you're right there. But
I was just saying, I mean, how many of you guys out there in the chat or watching later, you have those days where you know what needs to be done, you know what you should be doing, and specifically I'm talking about this video, and you don't want to do it. Like, I'm fine right now with listing things. I'd be fine if we went and did photos. I'd fine if we went and sourced items. I'm fine if we did anything. But man, I am just not feeling this show for some reason.
And here we are trying to motivate everybody else, and we can't even get half of us motivated to be motivating.
It's weird.
Or motivated for that reason. Yeah,
I mean, I'm usually like, if you put 1 on a level of not being motivated at all the way up to 10 being super, super motivated to do something, usually when we have a show to do or a 10 at 10 or whatever, I'm like at least like a 7, 6 to 8, somewhere in there. But right now I'm like a 1. I don't know why.
A 1, really?
I'm a 1. I'm a 1. I'm like, show,
So you could be Hank.
Yeah, Hank.
Did you see what Hank
Hank
had?
apparently got attacked by a clothing rack.
When clothing racks attack. Oh, man, we're feeling that pain. We've had similar things happen for sure, but hopefully your day will get better, Hank, for sure.
Yeah, I was just thinking about if Tiffany had that happen, if those racks fell, like that literally could entomb you. How many they have there? Thousands of items just.
Yeah, their racks go on for the length of the room.
Yeah.
So you have,
couple,
several hundred things on one rack, double racked, and you're right. That could just like cocoon you and mummify you, and people wouldn't find you for months.
So on a more serious note, if you're using racks for shoes or clothing or whatever you're using them for, shelving units, make sure they're stable, guys. I mean, they can fall over and will fall over. And surprisingly, like these little black shelves that we like to buy, they're cheap and they supposedly hold 150 pounds per shelf, although I would never put that much weight on one shelf. If it did, that thing would bow. But
we have that rack upstairs, that clothing rack upstairs that you get in a fight with all the time. Yeah,
it's a little cheap rack I got at Walmart or Target, and it's one of those that like the poles go up and you just like you push in the pole that the things that all the items hang on, like there's 2 ends and you push them together and that makes the rack. And man, when you start to put a lot on there, it just goes like this and just starts coming apart. And it did that the other day. It just like fell completely down. I kind of caught it. Yeah, so racks can definitely be dangerous. Let's see, what's going on in the chat already? Do you let sourcing take over your home? What? That's a nice laugh.
No, never.
Yeah, I wouldn't say sourcing takes over our home. There are periods where we have too much stuff for our capacity to list at that moment.
That was such a political
Yeah, that was like a politically correct way to say that.
The eBay politician way to answer that question.
Yeah, so what would you say about that? Do we let it take over our home?
No, sometimes it looks like it. I think on the Instagrams and some of the videos when we're just sort of in the moment and we're showing folks like this, like the day that all the shoes came and they were all over the floor and then they moved to buckets. It's temporary. Like we're not in a position yet where it's where we're hoarders.
No.
I hear that word a lot, and no. So it doesn't look like that. But now, for example, we have a new shoe rack, and we're not going to really be able to show that because we have to take everything with us to walk it over there, right?
Yeah, we could. It'd just be a little tricky. We could do it.
Oh, just do it.
We'll do it.
We had all these shoes, and we had started putting them on bookshelves inside priority mailboxes, and they were stacked. And we knew when we first started it that it wasn't going to work long term for us, but we needed a fix. And that was back when we had, 40 shoes listed, right? Actually, 40, 50, 60. And now we've just about doubled that. So we had to do something different. And so we ordered this cool new, you might as well just walk and show it since we're talking about it.
You're going to have to.
I know. So we ordered this new kind of shoe rack that.
Whoa, how did that get stuck to there?
I don't know. It's magic. We'll fix it later.
You're going to have to come too if you're going to want to be heard.
Yeah.
All right. So we're walking.
Walk this way.
All right.
So.
I'm going to turn on the light.
Yeah, I'll turn on the light. So we bought this.
It's a nice shot of my neck.
So we bought these new shoe racks. Yes. We're now.
Lighting is terrible. We apologize.
Look at how pretty. And those noodles are just there because we're going to have to do something different with the boots. But does it take over? No. Does it evolve into something that makes more sense? Yes. And this is what's happened to the shoes. And right now they're kind of in against a wall in sort of like a dining room that we don't use and a wall that we don't use, but they're low profile. So we can put two side by side and double the space again. So right here we have, what did we decide? It's how many shoes?
40 per rack.
So we've got 80 shoes here, right?
Well, not quite, but spaces for 80.
Spaces for 80. And then we double that, we have space for 160. And these are not going to live here much longer. They're going to move into the garage because we still have a lot of space that we could use better. So.
Yeah, you can see the whole rack there. And the interesting thing is, guys, like you know me, I'm a big believer in having things in very specific spots, but I did kind of come with like a little compromise. So what we did, because the system I'd started with, I was labeling things as like shoe area 1, shoe area 2, or shoe fixture A1, shoe fixture A2, and so on. And when we got these new ones, I realized, hey, there's spots for 10 on each one, but I've only got it 1 through 5, and then I've got a bunch on another rack. So I made a compromise. This is what I did. So see if I can turn this a little bit. So if you can see down here, these two on the bottom are both SHA1. So that's basically, those are all rack 1. So it only holds 8 shoes down there. So if we were looking for, a shoe on SHA1, there's only 8 possible places it can be. And shoes all look not all, but look pretty distinct from one another. Unlike jeans, which, a stack of 40 jeans, you can't tell one from the other very easily just looking at them. And so that's 1 down there on the bottom. Both of these are 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on. We'll get the trash can on the shot because I know Karin loves the trash can in the shot.
I do not like to see banana peels in the shot, but believe it or not.
We eat bananas.
Thanks, bananas. So believe it or not, this is Prof Simplified. And I know that sometimes we sort of assign a very specific, drill down spot for something so they can only be on that. But we allowed ourselves some grace here. We decided that each row, even though it could maybe hold 5 or 6 if it was this or that, it's just 4. That's how we're going to look at it. So believe it, this is simplified for us. Yeah. So that's 10 rows of 4 up to 40. And the reason that the noodles are there, the only thing we have to tweak differently now is the taller, thanks Vanna. So the taller shoes, the boots are going to have to go on the top rack, and because we don't like really putting them on their sides.
Yeah.
But what we wanted to do here is the shoes need to be open air and be able to breathe. We didn't want them to get moldy and go from there. You ready?
Yep.
All right, here we go. Back to the office.
The future.
Phenomena. Da, 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 da.
Hold on. Okay,
All right, you take that.
All right, so there you go.
It was like we went on a field trip.
Field trip. Did you guys all get your permission slip signed? I doubt it. All right. So there you go. There's our shoe bonanza extravaganza.
Extravaganza.
Can't be bonanza. So hopefully that was interesting, or at least you saw like what our new system is for shoes. I mean, those racks, I'm pretty happy with them. They're only like $34, and that's with shipping. There's a link to those in the description of all the videos. You can find them on Amazon, and they're pretty cool. I like them.
They were easy to build.
Yeah.
They're cheap. Because they work on tension, I think they're going to hold up a long time. And again, we had a personal rack of 5 that has lasted and stood the test of time. So there you go. So, hey, are you motivated now?
Somebody asked about shelves for bins, and they said, I need to buy racks to hold my bins. Sharon B, any suggestions? Yeah, Sharon, these Blue Hawk shelves that I have behind me here, you can find them at Lowe's or Home Depot. They usually run you about $40 for a 5-tier shelf. They say they hold 150 pounds per shelf. I would not put that much weight on them. I tend to go no more than about 80 pounds, and that would be with about 42 pair of jeans on it. Maybe 80 pounds. It's probably a little less than 80 pounds. But they're nice. They're easy to put together. No tools. They're lightweight. You can easily pick them up and move them when they're empty. They do lock together if you want, but I don't know that I would do that with them, honestly. I wouldn't lock them together. I think that just makes more of them fall over, potentially, if they do fall. So, but they're not bad. They're a decent. They're a decent solution for bins, I guess. Depends on the size of your bins. So.
And how much weight, etc.
Right, how much weight. I mean, ideally, if you were doing shelves, guys, and money's no object and space is no object, get metal shelves that are really hardcore and sturdy, because you don't have to worry about it. But they're heavier, they cost more, some of them are bigger. Those are 36-inch shelves, and honestly, they don't really have 36 inches of usable space in between because of the way the supports go in between each level. It's more like about 32 inches across in the front, at least. But get metal ones if you can. If money's no object, you're going to spend more, but they're going to last and they're not going to break. Blue Hawk was the brand. Blue Hawk, like a hawk, a bird. Yvonne says, how many shoes are you thinking to stock? Do you know the answer?
500.
By?
End of July?
Oh, no, I don't think we'll get that many by July. It's by the end of the year.
Oh, end of the year.
Yeah. 500 listings by the end of the year. That would be like a minimum level of success. And I know it's going to be tougher in, October, November, December when sales are better because they're going to be flying out a lot more. So it's going to be tougher. We're going to have to source more. I think we can do that. 500. And if you're selling 0.5% per day, which I think is probably reasonable, so you're selling 2.5 pair a day, that's about, let's see, that'd probably be around $50 profit per day, $1,500 per month, somewhere in that range. Just depends on what you're sourcing and so on. So that's kind of what we're thinking about in general. We'll see how it goes. Who gets to clean the shoes? We all do.
Yeah.
We all clean that whole batch of how many ever that is there, like 30 or whatever it is we did.
Yeah.
We did a video about it the other day. Yeah, they had the whole family working, I know, right? Mm-hmm. Staples has the Blue Hawk on sale. Nice.
Oh,
yeah, that's right. They do have them at Staples, Abraham. You're exactly right. I'd forgotten about that. I'm such a Lowe's and Home Depot snob. Actually, I like Lowe's a little better, but whatever. It's a guy thing. Some of you wouldn't understand. All right. So what else we got going on here? All right.
The AC works again.
The air conditioner works. It was a week breaker.
Well, that's what they said. They replaced the breaker, the entire box, and so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, so we'll see. Which is nice because it's like 87 degrees here today. So, yeah, AC definitely not a bad. It's 87. I was right. So,
no, our house does not smell like stinky shoes or stinky Goodwill for that matter. Like I know that a lot of people struggle with that. We don't.
You know, guys, it really comes down to what you buy. I think that you don't really have to buy. You don't really have to buy things that stink or dirty or stain unless you want to, and we usually don't. I mean, we usually don't. If it has all those issues, it would have to be a really spectacular item. If it had a bunch of issues, it would have to be a really valuable brand or item before I would buy it.
And then it's going right into the washing machine.
Yeah, and those are rare. I mean, they're not even 1% of what we buy. They're less than that. Same thing with shoes. I mean, shoes you can only do so much.
Yeah, and we talked when we did the family shoe show. We talked about how we're trying to, and it was interesting for us because, and I said this to you a couple of times, you've sold jeans now consistently for the most part of what you do for a couple of years now. And I think that you were trying really hard to put all of your jean knowledge and savvy and whatever instantly into the shoes. And it's just not possible. There was a learning curve there. And so the one thing that we could control right out of the gate, though, and the one thing we could do was buy better, buy well. So we're not getting, you know, like an athletic shoe, for example, where it would be stinky and sweaty and yucky, where it would need a lot of work. So we're getting shoes that are gently worn and not so stinky, so that we don't have to treat them. So.
Yeah, and I wanted to share something else I've been doing with that on a lot of my listings as of late, guys. I don't know how you guys feel about this. Leave a comment in the chat, or you can leave a comment, you know, later if you're watching this video down the road. But I used to put things in my listings in the description about the condition of the item. And because we usually only buy things that have very little wrong with them, if anything, anyway, this is what I've started putting, guys. And I don't know how to work out. I'm literally putting in my description, see photos for condition. Oh. And if there's something really strange about them, maybe I will still denote it. But I got a return the other day from somebody who I had a full-length photo of a pair of jeans, and there was a distressing in the knee. And when I first looked back at my photo when this person wanted to return the item, I thought that maybe it was genuinely a hole, but it was still depicted. But I got them back today, and I realized, no, that was actual real distressing put there by the manufacturer. And they complained and said, hey, in your description, you said no obvious defects and no flaws. I asked eBay about it. I actually called them, and I have another eBay story too I'm going to share. But I called eBay, and they said, you know, you took a photo of it, and jeans do get distressed. You don't have to accept this return. Because the way they did it is they wanted to return as damaged or not as described, and that really wasn't true. But because I had put in there no defects or flaws, this person thought that that was a defect or a flaw, even though it was clearly photographs. So I'm just saying now, like, here's the photos. If you have any other questions, if you want to see something different measurement, whatever, all right, I'll do it. But I'm not going to get into, like, man, I tell you, you just get yourself in trouble, it seems like. The more you describe something with anything other than just factual information, the more people will look for something wrong. And I figured this person probably they didn't fit him, and maybe they were saying this hole is, you know, they wanted to return them and not pay for the shipping, which is what ended up happening, which I was fine with. But, you know, I just say, hey, I'm just going to start saying, you know, here's the photos, and you decide what you think of it. That's all I was going to say on that.
Well, I think that it should be a combo of things. Like, you should use your words. There's the preschool teacher in me, and you should also use the pictures. But in this case, you know, with the distressing, I think that's, yeah, you got to kind of put it back on them too.
And here's another incident that happened with me in eBay lately, which turned out in my favor. So because I know eBay gets such a bad rap, their customer service, and actually, knock on glass, I've had great interactions with eBay customer service. So somebody wanted to return a pair of jeans a few weeks ago. This was actually back in April. And they said, well, there's a white spot on the knee that I didn't have a photo of it. And it was probably just kind of the normal distressing and look of the jean because it was a light colored pair of jeans anyway, but whatever. But they, again, also put item not as described. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. Well, I went ahead and sent them a return label. So nothing, and I see that the return was started and shipped. And I thought no more about it. Like, I don't even pay attention to it after that. Once it shows up here, I'll deal with it. But after that, it's like, it's good. There's nothing more for me to do. Well, I get this message from eBay saying, we've refunded the buyer their total price, but we're debiting your account because we found that you didn't, I don't remember how they worded it. Not you didn't do what you're supposed to do, but that's basically the gist of it, that I didn't take care of the buyer's concern. So it was a case without seller resolution. So I call up eBay and I asked them about it, and they said, and I said, why did this happen? And they first tried to say, well, you took 5 business days to respond to this person. And I said, look, I'm looking right at eBay's tracking here on this case, and it says that the person requested a return, and that day I provided a label. So how is that 5 business days? And they said, well, they're saying that they sent the item back to you and you never refunded them. I'm going, wait a minute. So I go into my spreadsheet, I go into my records, and I look, I've never gotten this pair of jeans back. I know I haven't. I see where it says return shipped, and I said, hey, I haven't even gotten these. Can you look at the tracking, because the buyer didn't provide any tracking? Can you look at the tracking and tell me where it is? They said, well, it shows that it arrived at your post office 6 days ago. And I'm like, great, but I haven't gotten it. And they're like, yeah, we see that. I'm like, so why am I getting I'm getting debited from my account when, I never even got the jeans back. I can't refund somebody until I get them back. And they're like, you're absolutely right. We don't know why this happened. Never seen this happen. It's a glitch, whatever. So the long story short, the buyer had already been refunded, but eBay reversed the debit from my account and gave me the sale back. So now when the jeans show up, and I even asked them, I said, so now do I need to still refund this person? They're like, nope, it's already been taken care of. So I'm going to sell the jeans again. I mean, what else am I going to do with them? So in reality, I sold this pair of jeans, got paid for them. The buyer got refunded by eBay. I'm getting the jeans back to sell again. And there's no mark on my record showing, that this was an item not described, or a case without seller resolution, rather. I mean, that's as good as it gets, isn't it, guys? So it's not like every time you call eBay, you're just going to get screwed over. It's never going to go in your favor. I just, and I don't know why it happened. It was really weird because I'm pretty good about it. Like, I'm going to refund people even if it's kind of bogus, because I'll say, all right, here's your label, ship it back to me. And, whatever. But I'm not going to keep up with the item after. I'm not going to go chasing the item. So moral of the story is, just because you call eBay guys when you have an issue like this, make sure you're following the rules, explain to them what happened, explain to them what you know, because mistakes do happen. And they debited this, and this person probably, I don't even think the buyer was scamming them. The buyer probably called and said, hey, I sent these jeans back to this seller a week ago and I haven't gotten refunded. And eBay's like, oh, you're right, you haven't. Here's your refund. We'll take it up with the seller. And that's what happened, but turns out it's still sitting there at my post office. So I'm like, I don't know if we'll ever get them back. I wonder if they put enough postage on it, honestly, but I guess it would it even have left their post office if they did that? I'm not sure how that works. But anyway, moral of the story, call them when you have an issue, guys. It's not always a bad thing. And just have the facts on your side. So
I don't think we've had very many bad phone calls, have you? I think most of the time when you call, it either works out to your favor or it works out, like the thing with the jeans with the knee hole, it wouldn't have been a mark against you anyway.
No, it wouldn't have been, because I did resolve it. Honestly, that would have been fine. But the buyer was kind of just, they didn't look at the photos. The photo was clearly there. It was a full-length shot from waist to cuff, both legs in the front. I usually don't take the shot of the back too, but you know, you could see the condition of the knee, and it was not like a crazy condition. But you know, someone says eBay has its favorite sellers. It's not me. If that were true, my sales would be better. So it's definitely not me. Yeah, somebody else said that eBay took care of a buyer and gave them a refund. Yeah, eBay will do that. I mean, eBay will refund the buyer a lot of times and not take it out of your account. So it doesn't always go against you. Another moral, keep an eye on return status, especially on PayPal, because you always get a notice. Yeah, returns, and I get that message all the time that'll say, hey, returns need, you know, action or whatever, but there's nothing really to do. Like, it's already been approved, and I don't know. There's just little glitches in that system. What else we got?
July 1st.
Oh, July 1st.
Did we ever talk about motivating? Let's talk. Well, okay, so we'll end with motivation. How's that? So we're going to do a meetup on July 1st. And if you live anywhere near the Charlotte area, keep your calendar open. It's a Saturday. We're going to meet at 9 a.m. There'll be more information, but it's just that. We're just going to kind of get together. And
do we have a name for it? You came up with one.
It's a touchy subject.
We're just gonna meet up and go. What? Well, you tell it. You tell it better than me.
No, we're just gonna get together, and
yep, that's it.
Luke is gonna help out Endless Entrepreneurs, and Shannon is gonna be there. We'll be there, and James. Then James is gonna come up from South Carolina. So you'll have us there, and we'll just kind of hang out and go shopping and hunting together, and that's it. We'll have lunch. We'll network. We'll bond. We'll whatever.
Yeah,
so.
That's it. We're gonna hit some stores and have a meal together, hopefully, and you can come for as long as you want. And there's no, we'll just be updating the you'll be updating the group.
Yeah, so we created a group, and it'll go. I'll unlock it. I forgot before we got. That's why I'm not telling the name because you can't search it right now because I have the email and everything, and I just didn't hit the unlock on the old Facebook. So
on the old
set your expectations low. At a minimum, you'll get to meet all of us. We'll hang out and have a lot of laughs, and that'll be that. But we're going to manage it within a Facebook group so that we can update location to location when we go from place to place and do it in real time in the moment. So if you're interested, just stay tuned, and that's what we'll do.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. Just to kind of learn from each other, you know, network, and that's really the only objective to it. Like, we don't really have an agenda. There's no speeches or anything like that. It's just, we're just going to get together and go thrifting and hit some stores, and we'll show you, you know, if you haven't been to Charlotte, you'll see kind of the selection we have. Your clothing reseller is really good, only because I think the clothing here in Charlotte is pretty good and pretty cheap and pretty plentiful. So you'll definitely be able to, you know, get something out of that. Chris says Eventbrite worked for them when they did a 30-person meetup. Yeah, that'd be cool. We could use one of those. But
yeah, we're not going to keep it. It's not going to, if you spend any money, it's going to be on you. So we'll meet at a place. And
there's no money involved.
Yeah, we're not collecting money. We're not doing a potluck.
No, because we're not providing anything. We're not giving you anything.
That's so funny.
It's like,
you get what you pay for,
your gas,
people.
your food, there's nothing to give you.
But so it's just an informal get together, and we're actually going to do two. The first one's going to be on a Saturday. Saturdays could potentially be a little rough because of the busyness of the traffic, right?
Well, I don't think the traffic around town will be that bad, but in the stores,
people traffic. And then we're going to do probably the next month, we'll do one on a Tuesday or Wednesday during the week, and then Tiffany will come up for that one. So we're going to do it a little bit differently. Maybe a more intimate, smaller group during the week, but it is what it is. So if you want to come. We'd love to meet you. It'll be, you know, go ahead.
Well, yeah, and I was going to say, you know, the plan is to go to some stores, break for lunch, go to some other stores, and you can come for as much or as little as you want. And that's the beauty of having it with a Facebook group. You can log in, see the update. So you'll know where we're going next. We'll provide, you know, I guess the address of the store and approximately what time we'll be there. You know, if you want to come and shoot video, if you want to come and network, and of course source. Saturday should be a good day actually for it, because the store's kind of, people drop off stuff on Fridays a lot. I feel like. And yeah, it'll be a little bit crowded, but I don't know that it'll be that crazy. Really, we've been in these stores on the weekends; they're not that bad.
No,
they're actually worse during the week sometimes. That's kind of when you get the professionals come out.
I know, right? On that
professional resellers,
that last shoe day. But anyway, just plan on meeting some crazy kids just like yourselves, laughing a lot, and anything above that is just going to be bonus. How's that? Fair enough? And as far as the group, somebody asked about asking to join the group. This meetup group is going to be a separate group on Facebook. The current Rebels of Reselling Facebook group is, it's got a capped membership right now, and we're kind of in the process of tweaking some things with that group as well. But we will post something that will link to the new, and we'll just do each subsequent event we have, we'll just create a new group for it, and then I think we'll see. And you know, that may evolve too.
What if we should do a video for it?
What do you mean?
Like for the meetup, and then just, you know, we'll just shoot like a little brief quick, and then we'll just give a link to the Facebook group in it.
Oh, that's like a little commercial.
Yeah. Yeah. So that way so that way too, because it's kind of hard, because somebody said, hey, I don't have Facebook. You know, how do I get connected to it? And I'm like,
oh,
I don't know, create an account. I mean, I don't know what to tell you there. I mean, it's free. You know, you don't have to take your account public. You can just keep everything really private if you want.
Oh, wait a minute.
But
you don't have to have an account to look at it. If we make the group public, they don't have to have an account to
you want to do that? Group. All right. Well, we could do that.
Maybe. Yeah. So don't go and create some anonymous Facebook profile, because those are a whole nother challenge.
Or do, because you may need to be anonymous.
But anyway, I'll make the group public. Just sort of stay tuned. We'll put it, I think that I can make it public in a way. We just, as far as managing the progress of us as we go throughout the day, the Facebook group made sense. So we're going to give it a try. And if it works, we'll continue to use it. If it doesn't, we'll change it. Yeah. And I don't want to create, like, I get that there's all kind of group event things that Eventbrite, I get it, but then you have to get another app and you have to do this and do that. Facebook makes sense. We're going to try to make it work.
Yep.
Stay tuned.
So we'll see if we can shoot that little video, because we still got like over a month, right? It's in July, right?
Yes.
So we could shoot that and we could put it out maybe like a couple weeks before or something, or
well, let's just give it,
or maybe even more than that.
Maybe by whatever. We're going to put it out soon. There you go. Moving on.
That's what I get for coming up with an idea.
As we come to the end of our time frame here, the topic was Monday motivation. And if anything, we broke the ice, right?
Yep.
And sometimes you just have to wake up, put on your big girl or boy pants, and just suck it up, buttercup. I think that when I suggested this to you earlier today, when you said, so what are we going to talk about?
I was like, I don't want to do a show.
Well, and this
wasn't quite that bad, but it's close.
And we talked about, so we may or may not do the Friday thing. Like, we're not going to do anything. We're not going to do any 10 at 10s or anything on Thursday, because we're going to go down to Columbia and see Tiffany. So we're sourcing all day Thursday. So no videos.
Right.
So we wanted to give everybody a heads up for that. But when I threw that out there, and I told Jason that, you know, I thought it would be good just to get on and say hi to everybody. So when you're talking about motivating yourself, and sometimes it's on you, other people are not going to be able to get you up and going, right?
Right.
But you can be proactive about your own self-motivation. And within this community, within any community for that matter, surround yourself with positive people. Surround yourself with like-minded people.
So they should stay off of Facebook.
Yeah. Sometimes, or stay off of YouTube. Like, I find myself.
Yeah, there's some of that too.
By the end of last week, you know, there were some. Anyway, I was just not feeling it anymore, and there was just a lot of like heavy, negative stuff that I was allowing myself to get sucked into and exposed to, and I just had to take a break. Like this weekend, I just had to just step aside.
Yeah.
And just step back and be like, no, thank you. You can keep your keep your frowny faces and your thumbs downsies all to yourself.
And you know, that was kind of a joke, but it kind of wasn't. I mean, if you are spending a lot of your time on Facebook forums or YouTube channels where the overall tone and tenor of the channel is negative and fearful and telling you that the sky is falling, guess what, guys? That's what you're going to think. I mean, nobody's an island, you know, and if you bombard yourself with all that negativity all day long, I know there's some sort of, you know, voyeuristic, you know, high we get sometimes from seeing the drama and seeing a fight and seeing people get mad and seeing people go off the deep end. But honestly, guys, it doesn't fill you up. It doesn't fill me up. And when I watch any kind of little inkling of that, I always feel much worse. You know, and it's the same thing with reselling or YouTube or Amazon or what these groups and so on. You've really got to make smart decisions about that. And it's easy to get sucked in and think that you're focusing on something really important that really is just one person with a whole lot of hurt that wants to spew it out to the rest of the world. And they got a platform and an audience. So I'd be cautious about that. If you want to find motivation, don't go looking for negativity. I mean, that's going to give you the wrong kind of motivation. And, we've all been guilty of doing that from time to time. And I know it seems interesting, but it's really not. And you have to guard against it or it'll really drag you down.
I am going to single-handedly devote my efforts to encouraging people to say something nice or don't say anything at all. Do you think I can do it? I'm optimistic.
Yeah.
So, because here's the thing, whenever, you know, we put something, when an opinion, a video, a comment or whatever, we're opening ourselves up to the rest of the world. And I get that. But what good is there in just shooting people down? Like if you've got a criticism, or if you want to, like when you have something, like if you want to say something's broken or it's wrong, just saying that all by itself is not enough. Like, as a former boss of the many employees, it was always more effective if you came to me with a solution. You know, I don't have patience for, you know, well, you know, that's not going to work, or you said this wrong, or you did that wrong, or whatever. Okay. But how can I make it better? How can you make it better? How can you, I don't know, man. How can you leave a better mark for somebody else?
Yeah.
Because that's why, you know, that's why a lot of our folks are here. And not so much, but sorry, I'm getting sucked into squirrels into the comments. It's not about shiny, happy people. It's
Krillin,
about,
you only get points if you sing that on the YouTube channel.
So
in Michael Stipe's voice.
We'll have a show just for that. But we're not rainbows and unicorns all the time, and that's not what I'm suggesting.
Of course not.
But I guess I'm putting a call out to, like, you guys are grown-ups, act like it. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, is that a little too stern? I don't know. Who
was it? Jim Rohn, who said, you know, you're the average of the sum of the 5 people you hang around the most. And guys, if you're in a group or you're watching a channel, whoever's group or channel, and I'm not directing this at anybody in particular. It's not about that. And it's not like I've gotten a comment from somebody or anything. No, it really isn't. But if you're part of groups or watching channels or watching sources of information that are negative, then your average gets drugged down. By definition, I don't care how much, you can't be invulnerable to that. I mean, if you hear the same thing over and over, you're going to believe it. I mean, that's how you brainwash someone. And if you're exposing yourself to all that kind of negativity, you are in effect brainwashing yourself to believe that negativity and to buy into it. You know, I always look at it this way, and Cara and I have talked about this many times. Any experience or any source of information you expose yourself to, or person that you get involved with, they're not neutral. they have some sort of effect on you, a positive or negative effect on you. Now, sometimes it's not always really clear which it is, but there's no neutral. Everyone you're involved with either helps you move forward with the agenda you have that's good and positive and is, will build you up and lift you up, or it drags you down. Who's negative, or no one who's neutral. So you have to decide, which of those people and groups and influences do I want in my life? What are they giving me from me in return? And if the calculation comes out that they're pulling more away from you and they're pulling you down more than they're lifting you up, you need to get rid of them. You need to get rid of them in your life. I mean, you'll be happier for it. You're not missing anything, missing all that nonsense. I mean, we think we are, but you're really not. So anyway.
We have capacity, right?
Yes.
We only have capacity for so much.
Yes.
And like you said, if you're filling yourself up with, and I get that a lot of this YouTube stuff is just entertainment for some, right? This voyeur thing. I don't know. What do I know? I'm just a girl with a Yoda shirt.
So lots of good comments in the chat. We probably didn't get all of them.
It says only once you live instead of YOLO.
And it's Yoda.
OOYL, and it's Yoda. There's a Yoda.
Only once you live. Not true. Dwight Schrute said, "You only die once. You live every day."
Another show.
Another show. See who knows that one. Somebody will know that one.
So if we manage to maintain your positive attention for this long, I'm trying to summon my best olive oil. So I can't now.
Oh yeah. All right. Well we'll just have to sign off without it.
Oh, Popeye.
All right, guys.
That wasn't Popeye. That was like, I got to work on it. I got to practice.
Well, we're way over 30 minutes.
We are.
We're taking up these people's valuable time.
Well,
go get motivated, people. It's about being motivated.
Are you motivated now? I asked you earlier, and you just didn't say anything.
I'm more motivated. I guess so. Yeah.
All right, that's better than not motivated, right?
Right.
So we'll be here for a couple of 10 to 10s this week, and then we're just going to be working to source and list the rest of the time. So
yep.
Thank you guys for coming. We hope you have a kick butt week, that you kill it, and that you stay as upbeat and positive and don't beat yourself up too much.
Nope. Find some good people to hang around, and they'll encourage you, and you can encourage them too. So
who are you?
Prof Sales.
And Karin
saying
good sales to you.